This is Rico with Vortex Inspection Group and Cyclone Plumbing. Just want to talk about a little bit about myself because a lot of people don't know who I am. My name is Rico Sandoval. I've been in new construction, real estate industry for almost all my life. I'm 52 years old and I've always wanted to do something different than what I do now, but anything that I tried different, I would always come back to what I know how to do and to make a living. So in 1989, I got a summer job and I worked as a summer job for a home builder in Rialto, California. And I was with that home builder, Lewis Homes, from all the way up to 2000. And in 2000, we got laid off because Coffin and Bro bought us out. So Coffin and Bro came in the year 2000 and they bought Lewis Homes, not Lewis Properties, Lewis Homes. What you see out there in California on Lewis Properties, that's the commercial side. So they only sold the new construction residential. They kept the commercial. And 8 months later, they laid us off. And I went to go work for Centex Homes. Centex Home called me and I applied. They called and they decided to sell 3 years later to Pulte Homes. So Pulte Homes bought Centex Homes in 2003, 2003, 2004. And I was with the LA Ventura division, which out of all the Centex Homes, that was the smallest division. And in 2003, um, a friend of mine introduced me to the home inspection industry, and I didn't know that existed. I went a couple ride alongs with him, and I told him, "This is the exact same thing that we do, only that we don't fix anything." Because in new construction, what we do is that we would walk the property, do a punch list, and go back and work on the house. We would install appliances if the appliances wasn't installed. We would install the toilet if the plumber. We would get the house ready for walkthrough. And with Lewis Homes and Sectons Homes, we were in the customer service warranty division. And then for a small period of time, I was an assistant superintendent for Centex Homes. It didn't last long, but it gave me a lot of experience. So when I came to the home inspection industry, it was fairly it was a rude awakening. It was a different beast than what I was used to. In new construction, everything that was broken, we will replace. There was no repairing it. We just replaced it. It's no different than when you buy a brand new car. You know, they'll do the best to repair it, but most likely that part is going to be replaced. So when I came into real estate inspections, my inspection reports were like, replace, 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 replace. And no, it doesn't work that way. We have to give the seller the benefit of the doubt to repair it. And if it can't be repaired, then obviously the next option, most likely it would have to be replaced. And then what I did is I went to college. I went to Norco College, and hold on, here it is. I have this. So this is a certificate from Norco College. So this is a certificate that is recognized in the state of California, equivalent to a AA degree, an Associate of Arts. And what that means is you have your high school diploma and you have your GED. Well, in order to convert this certificate, let me see, yeah, this certificate, construction technology, see it right there? Boom. In order to convert this into an AA degree, I have to finish 4 general ed classes that to me were very insignificant, but they're holding it. They're holding my AA hostage, but this is equivalent. And those four classes are a history class, a math class, a debate class, and PE. PE. I have to take those classes. So that's that. I got that. And of course, I have my certificate of inspecting pools and spas. Okay. These certificates, they never expire. And I have my Home Inspections Training Institute. I couldn't find my commercial certificate for inspecting commercial buildings. It's somewhere. I just can't find it. But the point of this video is to share with you that when I inspect a house, I inspect it with a lot of knowledge, with a lot of experience, which separates me from the person that I think I'm gonna do become a home inspector today. A lot of people wake up, they have basic knowledge, and that's where we all start. You know, I'm not bashing on those guys, but they have the basic knowledge. I came in with a lot of knowledge. I just have to adapt to the home inspection industry and how to write reports, what wordings to use, what not to use. Like we in new construction, we use the word mold all day long. I mean, yeah, it's mold. It's mold. Well, we don't have customers. The customers are when we would do the walkthroughs. But none of those problems would appear during a walkthrough. So obviously on my reports I would put mold, mold, mold. Well, you don't call it mold until it's tested. So that was a big learning experience for me, and but at the same time I traveled the nation. I met great people in the home inspection industry. Coaching for home inspection, coaching not so much to do the job itself, but to grow the business. At one point, I had a couple guys, company trucks, but that all changed because California does not have a licensing agreement. California does not have a licensing agreement. It's anybody could be a home inspector if they want to. Um, they tried to submit our industry to the California State Contractors Board. They don't want us because California classifies home inspectors as generalists. So you're hiring somebody that's going to give you a general information about your house. We are generalist, not specialist. So the California State Licensing Board don't want us. And then I believe in Texas, to get a home inspection license, you have to go through the Department of Real Estate. So Texas is the only state that I know of, I'm sure there's more, that the home inspection industry, the licensing is under the real estate umbrella. Well, they try to do that in California through CAR, California Association of Realtors. They said, no, we don't want them. Okay. So then they submitted our industry to see if they would take us to, I can't remember that department. It's a department that issues barber license, cosmetic license. Um, I don't want to say the beer and alcohol department, but if you're gonna get a barber's license, a cosmetology license, a license on anything beauty related, they said no, we don't want these guys. So, and we're not big enough. When I say big enough, I'm talking about we're not financially big enough to even create our own department. It would be cool, but that's not that's not where we at right now. Not in our industry, not in California. But having a license, would that change anything? There's pros and cons on anything. I'm going to give you my personal opinion. If California passes anything that's going to give us a license, this is what's going to happen. A lot of home inspectors are going to leave the industry. So prices are going to skyrocket. That's number two. I mean, that's number one. Number two, there's going to be a lot of home inspectors that are going to go by the standards of practice of the license. They're going to not want to go above and beyond. So, right now, if it's safe and if it's not concrete tile roof, clay roof, metal roofing, if it's composition shingles, if the roof is safe to climb, we're going to climb it. But we don't have to. We don't have to go under the house. We don't have to go in the attic. We don't have to open all the windows. We don't have to check the appliances. It's going to be the bare minimum that the consumer is going to be impacted. Because if we stick to the bare minimum, we don't have to do everything. It's going to hurt the industry. Right now, a home inspector goes above and beyond what our standards of practice are, and that benefits the customer and it helps the industry. Now, having a license, is that going to change the home inspector? I mean, having a license to become an attorney, um, does that mean every attorney is good? No. Having a real estate license, does that mean that every realtor is good? Nope. Lender? Nope. Doctor? Nope. Dentist? Nope. Chiropractor? Nope. A mechanic? Nope. It doesn't mean that it's going to make the industry better. It's going to change it. But that change, I think, is going to be neutral. I don't think it's going to be better. I think it might even hurt it a little bit. This is my opinion because home inspectors are going to look for the bare minimum to not do a lot of things. But that being said, getting a home inspection in the state of California, it's unlicensed. You would have to do your due diligence as a buyer to call a home inspector that's available and ask them tough questions. And those tough questions, it varies based on your experience. If you have bought homes in the past, then you know what kind of questions to have. But if you're a new home buyer and you don't know what to ask, talk to your realtor. They could ask you they could tell you what to ask the home inspector. And, how long have you been in the business? Are you a full time, part time home inspector? Are you do this full time, part time, all that kind of stuff. But getting a home inspection is very important here in California. And sewer inspections as well. We do sewer inspections as well as home inspections. We don't do mold inspections. We don't do chimney. We check the chimney and the fireplace from the outside, but there's companies that do it. They put a camera on the chimney and they check the interior. We don't do that. We like to stick with just two and swimming pools, but not every home has a swimming pool. So we do home and sewer. It's our primary goal. And as a licensed plumbing contractor, um, we the big benefit of working with us as far as doing your sewer inspection is because every home inspector out there can do a sewer inspection. You do not need a license to do a sewer inspection. But that being said, that home inspector cannot give you a price because they're not a licensed contractor to give you a price on the sewer problem if there's an issue. We can. Now, there's a lot of home inspectors that work with third party companies, not three party, third party companies that will give you a price on everything that needs to be repaired, which is good. The problem that I see with that is that the third party company that they're using, every home inspector in the nation uses it. And if you see at gas prices in Texas right now, as of January 6, 2026, Gas prices in Texas are just above $2. Georgia, same. Arizona, the same. California's we're double. We're still in the fives. Maybe somewhere, if I'm lucky, I'll find something in the fours, $4 gallons. But we're still up there. So if they use that third party company to give you a price for an issue in California, it might be way off, comparing it to other parts of the nation. And that's not going to help the consumer because it might not be the full amount. It might be way less. Or it might be too much that it's going to scare away the client. So having prices for California alone is going to help the consumer much better. We could give you a price on the sewer line, we could give you a price on the pressure regulator, the water heater, anything plumbing related, we could give you a price on. And I think that's going to benefit the buyer even more because right now there's no home inspector that can give you a price without the third party. I have a lot of home inspectors that I work with that I do help them give them a bid, but it's very hard unless we do the inspection, the sewer inspection, because the repairs for a sewer inspection is from the house to the property line. Anything all the way, even though the homeowner is responsible all the way to the city connection, we could only go all the way to the property line, and then beyond that, if there's a problem, then that's going to take more work because it's under the street, city sidewalk, you name it. And the reason why it's important for us to do a sewer inspection, and we cannot give you a bit over the phone because there's a lot of questions that we have. What size? Not a lot of people know the size. They don't have it. The size of the sewer line, if it's a 3 inch, 3.5, 4. Um, how deep it is, what material. Are we dealing with concrete? Is it under concrete, under grass, under gravel, under dirt? How long is it? And the material. So they don't have that information. And just to give out a blank estimate, it's very difficult. It's we could give you, oh, okay, what's going to cost 30,000 when it's in reality it could be 15,000. But without having that proper information, it's hard. It's hard. So I encourage um, home buyers that they could call us just for your sewer inspection, and we could inspect the whole plumbing while we're there. And and if your realtor likes a home inspector, they could use a home inspector. That's not a problem. We could do the sewer inspection. Another company can do the home inspection. We've worked with a lot of home inspectors like that, and it works fine. So it's good to work with somebody that you could trust. Your realtor would always work with somebody that they trust. And I have a lot of realtors that I work with that they trust me. I trust them. They could call me anytime during the day, the weekends, holidays, and that helps. That helps everybody, and it makes the job easier. So that being said, I encourage everybody in 2026, do not skip on your home and sewer inspections. And if you have any asthma, any allergies, respiratory allergies, I highly recommend that you also get a air quality test to test the inside of the house. Now, the inside of the house, there's two type of tests: air quality, which is a VOC, which is a volatile organic compound. It it collects the air inside the house and you send it out to the lab. So the lab is going to send you a list of everything that they found, everything but mold spores. And if you do an air quality for mold spores, it's only going to collect for mold. It doesn't make any sense, but what does, right? It's kind of like when they draw blood. You go draw blood to see if you have diabetes. That's all they're gonna look for. They're not gonna look for anything else. Well, how's my sugar? Oh, we didn't look for that. That wasn't the test for that. Same thing over here. But nevertheless, we encourage everybody to get a home and sewer inspection and all the inspections that you have the right to get all the inspections that you want. And if you guys need any more help, I work with a lot of realtors in the area. I could recommend you with the best of the best of the best because that's the only people that I work with. I work with other realtors that I don't work with anymore, and that's for reasons that I won't mention to protect the innocent. But nevertheless, I really encourage everybody a good 2026. Get your home and sewer inspection. And if anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, please leave it in the comment area. And yeah, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what else you guys want to talk about as far as home and sewer inspections. And I'll be more than happy to talk to you about. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye bye.